Hello friends, my name is Morgan. I'm a registered yoga teacher and an avid reader. In my classes, I like to infuse themes from the books that I'm currently reading with the physical asana practice. Today's class pulls themes from Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Fourth Wing follows Violet Sorrengail, trained to be a scribe and record history, but forced by her mother, the general of the Navarian army, to become a dragon rider. In this popular fantasy, Violet not only perseveres through the physical, emotional, and mental challenges of being in the Rider Quadrant, but also bonds to one of the most powerful dragons. We'll begin in Child's Pose today.
Settle into your Child's Pose, extending your fingertips towards the top of your mat, toes touch the back of your mat, and sinking onto your heels. Maybe your forehead reaches the mat. We find stillness within and without. Begin to bring focus to the breath, not changing anything right now, just noticing how the breath feels as you inhale and exhale. Begin to even your breath, both in quality and in duration. Inhales matching your exhales. The final step is to add Ujjayi breath, which is a constriction at the back of the throat on your inhale and your exhale. This creates an ocean-like quality as you're breathing. Walk your fingertips over to the right, finding a left side body stretch. Noticing the expansion as you inhale and the contraction as you exhale. Today's practice will be filled with a few number of twists. We are stretching the side bodies in preparation. Walk your fingertips through center and over to the left side of your mat. This time finding a stretch in the right side body. Note that this side may feel different. Our bodies are filled with limitations. We're all made differently, even from our right to our left side. This is absolutely okay. Come back through center and lift up into tabletop position. Wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Inhale to lift your right arm to the sky and exhale to thread the needle, placing your right cheek and the back of your right palm on the mat. Feel the stretch between your shoulder blades. Inhale to lift the right arm back up to the sky and exhale to place it back on the mat. Inhale, lift the left arm to the sky and exhale to thread the needle. You have the option to play with your arm or your leg positionings to find a stretch that feels best to you. Inhale your left arm back up to the sky and exhale to place it next to your right palm. Now we'll find bear pose, which is intuitive movement, anything that feels good to you. Close your eyes here and dare to move in a way that makes you feel good, makes your body feel good. Discard the perceptions or the judgments of yourself or others, and allow yourself to feel and to move within your own body. You have the option as well to find some wrist stretches, anything to prepare you for this physical intense practice that we have coming up. When you feel complete, we'll lift the hips into downward facing dog, pedaling out the feet, preparing, getting ready. Connect with your breath. If you've already lost it, we'll inhale to prepare and exhale to jump to the top of the mat. This is our Sun A. It'll move a little quicker. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. Our quote for class today comes from Fourth Wing. Remember, it's only your body that's fragile. You are unbeatable. In today's very physically intense practice, we will be challenging the body and pushing past physical limitations in order to get to the true self, what lies beneath. Inhale to rise up tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to high plank. This first time we'll bend the knees and lower all the way onto the mat. Inhale for cobra pose. Exhale to lower. Inhale, come through downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, jump to the top of your mat for forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up strong. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back, chaturanga, high to low plank, and flow back to downward facing dog through an upward facing dog. We'll find a cycle of breath here. Inhale to prepare, and exhale, feet come to the top of the mat. Our third sun A will inhale, halfway lift, exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, step back, high plank, high to low. We'll meet in downward facing dog. We're building tapas, we're building heat. This is purifying. Reconnect with your breath. On an inhale, prepare. Exhale to jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sink down into your chair pose. We hold here, feeling that heat. It's burning, it's purifying our body and allowing us to connect to something deeper. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale and immediately lift your right leg. Pull it through for warrior one. Deep bend in your right knee. Exhale, fold. High to low plank. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale to pull it through. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, plant your hands and step back. Chaturanga. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Focus on the breath. This is difficult, but don't let the fluctuations of the mind overcome you. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, sink low. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, high plank to low plank. Up dog to down dog, following the breath. Right leg to the sky, pulls through. Inhale, rise up strong. Exhale, hands plant, step back, high to low plank. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale to pull through. Stand up on an inhale. And hands plant on an exhale. Make your way back to downward facing dog. It's okay to use your knees. Everyone is different and requires different modifications. Lift your right leg to three-legged dog on an inhale. We'll open up the hips and find a flip dog, planting both feet parallel and reaching the right arm above us and towards the front of the mat. Maybe curling the crown of the head down towards the mat. Flip back over and find side plank on the right side. The right arm is down, lifting the hips generously, the feet stacked on top of one another, finding our true north alignment in this pose. Come back through high plank and hold. You can stay here. You're strong. Inhale your left foot to the sky, open your hip, and find flip dog on the other side. This pose is strengthening for our back and core that we'll use for our back bends and inversions later in class. Come back through center and find high plank on the opposite side. Your left arm is down, right arm lifted to the sky. Crown of the head reaching the opposite direction from the feet. Find high plank and hold. Push past what your ego and delusion tells you you can't do. Walk your feet towards your fingertips at the top of your mat. Sink down low for chair pose. Hips down, chest up, arms in an I or in a Y. Feel the burn in your legs. Pull your hands to heart center and we'll gaze to the right before twisting our torso to the right. Left elbow connecting to the right knee, finding an isometric contraction. Maybe open your arms up before gazing down at your left foot, lifting it off the mat, and finding revolved crescent lunge. Opening up even further. Find warrior two, sinking deep through your front leg, exuding power and strength even as you wobble. Exhale for extended side angle, reaching the right fingertips to the mat and the left fingertips to the sky. You have the option to use a block to bring the mat closer to you. Plant both fingertips back on the mat and step back into high plank. Feel the purifying work that you've put in. Walk your toes towards the top of your mat and sink down for the last chair pose of practice. Give it your all. Sink down even lower than you did. Hands to heart center. This time we'll twist to the left, following the gaze. Find that connection between elbow and knee to push open towards the left-hand side. Gaze down at your right foot, find your balance, and step back into revolved crescent lunge. Open up into warrior two, settling even deeper than you did on the last side. Feel the tapas burning and purifying your body. Exhale for extended side angle. You always have the option of bringing a block into your practice. Plant your hands on the mat, step back into high plank. Stay here, feel the discomfort, and overcome it. Your body can withstand far more than your mind tells you it can. Release. Downward facing dog. We'll take 2 lion's breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling loud and deep out through the mouth, releasing that tapas fire. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling as much as you can out through the mouth. 3-legged dog, right side. Step your leg forward, find warrior one. Wide stance, deep bend in the right knee. Fingertips reaching upward. Clasp your hands behind your back. Right shoulder meeting the right inner knee. Gazing towards the back foot. Hands pulling towards the front of the room. Rise back up. Adjust your feet for warrior two. Sink low. Hold power in your stance. You've been here before. Inhale, reverse warrior. Extending that side body that we stretched earlier. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Step back into high plank. Find your chaturanga, high to low. Come through your heart opener and into downward facing dog. 3-legged dog, left side. Step your left foot forward, warrior one. Grow tall. Clasp your hands behind your back. Find a mini back bend and bow your chest forward, finding humble warrior. Rise back up into warrior two, the left side. Gaze is strong over your left front fingertips. Hold here, knowing that you can. Inhale to reverse your warrior, finding that deep side body stretch. And exhale, plant your hands on the mat, stepping back into a high plank. Find your chaturanga, up dog, and we meet in downward facing dog. Lower your right forearm and then your left to come into a forearm plank. We hold here, focusing on the breath, not on the discomfort that we're feeling in our body. Lift your hips, walk your toes in, come into a dolphin pose, preparing for our inversion practice later today. Gaze towards your toes, engage your shoulders, and breathe. You can stay. If a headstand inversion is your goal, holding dolphin for 2 minutes is your first step. Walk your feet out toward the sides and walk your fingertips into the center to find a forward fold. Fully release onto the mat. You have the option to play around a little bit, maybe planting your head on the mat. Or your forearms, preparing for that inversion we'll take later in class. Walk your toes back in. We'll meet in a forearm plank. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way onto the mat. We are now entering the back bend portion of class. We'll prepare for locust pose, placing the arms face down beside the body. On an inhale, lift the chest and legs off of the mat, crown growing towards the sky, inner thighs hugging in together, grounding through your hip points. Lift a little more on your next inhale, and exhale to lay back down on the mat. We'll take one more locust, rising up on an inhale. This core preparation and back strengthening is vitally important in our everyday health and also in preparation for inversions. Exhale to lower and make your way onto your back for bridge pose. For bridge, we'll lift the hips, grounding through the feet and the shoulder blades, hugging the core tight. We will be here for a little bit, so you have the option for supported bridge. Violet used creative modifications to survive the rider's quadrant. Everyone's body is made differently, and we should all be encouraged to use modifications more often. You can find some movement here in your bridge pose. Figure 4 stretch on either side might feel good right now. Or even walking your feet out to the end of the mat, legs fully extended. If you've been playing, go ahead and make your way back into bridge pose. If you have a block underneath you, go ahead and remove that and place it somewhere out of the way. We'll lower our back down as slowly as possible, one vertebra at a time, onto the mat. Locust and bridge pose have helped us to prepare for our final back bend, wheel pose. Plant your hands by your shoulders and ground down equally through both hands and feet. As you prepare on an inhale to lift your hips up off of the mat into the air. Allow your head to fall back, gazing towards the front of your mat, and lower. This pose is very challenging and takes both mental and physical strength. We'll take this 2 more times, knowing that you can do it even if your body tells you you can't. Follow your inhale and your exhale to guide you through this posture. Maybe rolling out your wrists for taking one last bridge pose, inhaling to rise up. Exhale to stay. Inhale and exhale fully onto the mat. Amazing job. Bring the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. Place one hand on the stomach, the other on the chest for Supta Baddha Konasana. Notice what you feel. Allow yourself to feel. And then let it go. Are you proud of what your body has accomplished so far in class? Your body is so much stronger than your mind allows you to think that it is. There is nothing you can't do when you push past this delusion. Pull your knees back into center and sit up, meeting in a high plank. Getting there in any way that you choose. We'll take pigeon on the right side, pulling the right knee into chest, holding, engaging the core, before gently placing it at the top of your mat. Rather than sleeping our pigeon, we're going to stay tall, firm, strong, and with intention, keeping the integrity of this posture. Maybe place your hands on your hips. You have options to find king pigeon or mermaid. Find strength and power within this pose today. Maybe challenging yourself to do something you've never done before. Plant your hands on the mat and set back into high plank. We'll do the same thing on the left side, pulling the left knee into chest, squeezing the core before setting the left leg at the top of the mat. Reestablish your strength, your foundation. You have the option to play on this side as you did on the previous side, or to stay here in stillness. It often takes a great deal more strength to stay in stillness, in discomfort. Plant your hands and step back into high plank. Lower your knees onto the mat. Set up for frog pose, facing either side of your mat. Widening the knees, pointing the toes out wide. You can recline onto your forearms. Come into your deepest expression of this pose. Challenge yourself. This pose often causes discomfort. Sit in this discomfort. Feel it. Notice what it brings out in you. We'll stay here in silence and in stillness. What do you notice about yourself when faced with discomfort? The discomfort of the posture, or the discomfort of sitting alone with your thoughts. Begin to lift up if you are on your forearms, and walk your knees and your toes in towards center. We'll lower down into a seat, legs outstretched on our mat. Grow tall, inhaling to reach up, and exhale to fold forward, keeping a straight back and curling the toes towards our nose. Maybe finding a slight bend in the knees if that brings more comfort. Modifications are always welcome. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to deepen into your stretch. Begin to rise back up and prepare for plow pose. Lift your hips over your shoulders, ground through your upper arms, and support your low back with your palms. Toes reach up above your head towards the back of your mat. This is a great place to stay. This is an inversion just as much as a headstand or a handstand is. You know your body and its limitations better than I do. Make the decision that's right for you. If you would like to practice a headstand inversion, meet me in pyramid pose. In pyramid pose, ground down through your forearms and engage your shoulder muscles. Your head should be lightly on the mat. From there, you can walk your toes in a little bit closer so your hips are over your shoulders. Lift one leg and hold, engaging your core. Maybe you'll find some small hops, keeping engagement and control. Maybe your other foot will reach up to meet the first foot. Our goal is strength and control, seeing how long we can hold our legs in the air between each hop. I have broader, less flexible shoulders, and I find a tripod headstand to be a little more comfortable for me. This does require a little more shoulder strength and may not be for you. The process is similar, extending one leg to the sky and slowly with control, bringing the other leg to meet it. Finding a slow, controlled descent on the way down as well. When you're finished, meet in child's pose or on your back. If you're in plow pose, we'll begin to lower the spine fully onto the mat, using control from our abdominal muscles. We'll all meet on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet to touch, knees wide, one hand over your heart, the other over your belly. Notice what you feel in your body right now. It's likely exhaustion, a little discomfort, but also notice that heat, that tapas, the result of the strengthening and the purification of your body during this practice. The burning reminder that you're alive and all that your body can accomplish. Let's prepare for Shavasana, getting out any last wiggles, letting go control over the breath and the mind, extending the legs to the bottom corners of the mat, and the arms by our sides, palms facing to the sky. In class today, we push past the limits of the body, gaining control of the body and the mind in order to discover the true self. In fourth wing, Violet survived extraordinary physical challenges solely by believing that she could. This serves as a reminder that when we put aside our ego and the perceptions we have of ourself through our mind, that we can accomplish much more than we believe our bodies to be able to. In our Shavasana today, I would like you to maintain control over the body and the mind. Resist the urge to itch, scratch, or move, and keep the mind focused. For the next 2 minutes, your body and mind will remain in complete stillness. Begin to reintroduce movement back into your body and your mind. Wiggling your toes, rolling out your wrists, rocking your head from side to side. Breathing in a little deeper. I urge you to utilize what you've learned through this practice throughout your day by implementing moments of stillness. Make your way to a comfortable seat at the top of your mat.
If you have read or are planning to read Fourth Wing, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. I bow to you as you bow to me, and we say together, Namaste.